What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So if you saw in the last video, working on the Subaru. So today I really want to get the coilovers on just because the ones that are on this thing, Super C's, trash. So if you guys seen, I have these BCs that I got off Marketplace. I want to get these things on because one, they're not C's, they're like brand new. I want to get these on there so I can actually adjust this thing. And the more I look at it, I mean, I have these big old 18s over here. I'll show you. I got these 18 by 9.5s off Marketplace. They're Rotas. I'm probably going to end up selling them, but for now they will work. But they hit the lock washer, the jam nut, or whatever you want to call it, on the coilover. So I actually want to raise it a little bit just to give me that little bit of space, because if you see, let me go back over here. I've been having to run these spacers. So on all four sides, I have to run these spacers so that it doesn't hit the coilover. So I am probably going to have to change some things up. They're 18 by 9.5s, which I think is a little bit too big for this car. At least the offsets. So I'm probably going to be selling those wheels and finding something that I really want instead. But for now, I'm just going to get the coilovers on and see what kind of clearance I have. Raise it just a smidge. I'm not going to, skyrocket this thing, even though it is all-wheel drive, and that's what a lot of people seem to like to do, is make them very tall, which is not what I'm going for. I'm going for lower, sleek, and looking good. So today I want to get these old ones off and get the BCs on and see if we work on something else on this thing. But for now, the main focus is getting the coilovers on. So I already sprayed the bolts here to loosen them up. I got to pop the hood so I could drop the top hats and stuff. But I want to start with the front because that is where the biggest issues are with clearance. So let's get working on that. All right, so as you can see, I got the bolts out of the knuckle here. And then what I'm gonna move on next to is the top hats on this side real fast. So we're gonna get all this done and get them free and do a side-by-side comparison. Boom, first try, even though I brought the other one. Snip that real fast. That one had some tension on. All right, so first glance, obviously these ones were completely bottomed out. That's why, they're a good 3 or 4 inches lower. So I am going to be lowering these down, but just the quality of them in general, I believe the shock even has more of a throw because this is only, honestly, it's about my finger length, maybe about 3-4 inches. This one's like a solid 6. So this will have more comfortability, more dampening, and all that kind of stuff, because these ones don't even have dampening adjustment. So, I mean, not in a pinch, and if you want to just cheap looks and stuff, throw some Racelands on it, whatever, but these have seen better days for sure. And these ones are going to be a million times better. So what I'm going to do is I want to clean up the top hat area, all this stuff. Just give it a better mounting point and stuff because it's a little crusty and dusty up in here. So clean all this up on both sides and then get the fronts on. Let's work on getting all this cleaned up. All right, so I'm just going to use some generic cleaner just to spray all over this stuff here. Clean it up because why not have a cleaner surface with what you're working on? It just makes that little bit of change a little bit better. And as you guys can probably tell, just from wiping that down alone, I mean, Jesus, it looks so much better. I think what I'll actually do is grab a little brush and hit that. Get up in there in the nooks and crannies. Dang, this color, honestly, the color that was on this car is not too shabby, forest green or whatever it's called. Somebody in the comments that's a diehard Subaru guy, but that's not forest green, but you'll know what I'm saying. Oh yeah, that's a million times better. Oh yeah. Get all these leaves and stuff off. I'll work on getting that next, but I want to get these on there. So this one turns out. All right, so yeah, that turned out a lot better. I mean, obviously I could get in there way deeper and buff it and do all that craziness, but I'm not gonna do all that. It's cleaner, it looks good. Show you this side real fast. Also way cleaner. I am gonna vacuum all the leaves out and blow it all out and stuff at some point, clean this all out and everything, and do better with the intake. I might even get like intake box and actually have it here setting so that it's actually, you know, a little bit away from the engine. Not that this is gonna be some big performance engine or anything, but you know, if I could keep cold air where cold air belongs, then that's what I'll do. So we'll clean it up and dress it up a little bit, but maybe that's what we'll do today, is work on getting this off here and clean this entire area up and get this properly mounted, not zip tied. You know, I might have to drill these little holes out because it looks like that's where that bolts to, is right here. So these are actually broken in there. So maybe we'll drill those out, get this in there, re-tap that, be good to go. And yeah, so, but let's get these coilovers in. All right, so I'm just gonna loosely put these things in here because like I said, I am gonna adjust the ride height and stuff. So for now, I'm just gonna get them in there and get them not snug, but just started. So we'll work on getting that real fast. Get these bad girls in there because I'm super excited for these. So I did actually notice that the top bolt has a camber bolt, which I am gonna put back in for now. I will get a proper alignment and stuff, but having this one just adds camber and stuff, which these actually have camber adjustments on the top hats. But for now, this is what I got, so I'm just gonna toss this one back in. All right, so we have the coilover back in there. Like I said, I need to set the height adjustment was what I want. So these are just loosely in there. I'm gonna tie this brake line up out the way and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna get the other side on and then we will work on the back. Well, I think I figured out why these coilovers were so cheap. And honestly, it's only one, which isn't a big deal. I'm not gonna completely call it a total loss yet. But if you look, as I spin this, watch the rotor. It's probably hard to see it on camera, but basically, I think the shock is bent, and that will make sense because this jam ring or lock ring won't go past this. So I believe the threads are actually squished. I think it's bent. It actually, now that I'm looking at it, it does kind of look a little, So yeah, I think I need to order a new shock, which I think they're only like 100, 120 bucks, which isn't a big deal. So I'll hit them up, see if I can get a replacement shock for this one, and we'll be in good shape. So I'm gonna get this lock ring down and get it all figured out, and then I could screw the rest of it apart and rebuild these, no big deal. So, well, that sucks, but is what it is. Still, no matter what, even if I have to replace this, it's still cheaper than what a brand new set would be. So I'm gonna call BC's and see what I can figure out with this. If you look at it, you can clearly see that it's bent. Basically, from there up, it kind of leans to the left, or however I'm holding it, but that's 100% bent. So I need to get a new shock for this, which isn't that big of a deal. I actually might have one. I'm gonna call them and see if it's interchangeable between different cars as long as it has the right pressure and stuff. So I'm gonna find out if what I have will work. If it does, then we'll be in good shape. But that's unfortunate. It is what it is. Sometimes, you know, to the naked eye at first glance, you can't really tell, but you can tell once you start adjusting it. I still think it was still a good deal. Even if this cost me 100, 150 bucks, I'm still only paying 500 to 550 bucks for $1,200 coilovers. So I'm gonna get on the horn with them, get this thing shipped ASAP if the one I have does not work. So I gotta make some phone calls. All right, well, unfortunately, the spare one I had, if you see in there, it's a DS series shock. So that's a spare one for my Mustang, which I did find out that a lot of the shocks are the same, but drastic differences. Sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter, but it is what it is. So I already talked to my boy Davey over at BC's. He said they're only like 100 bucks each. So I'm just gonna get a new replacement one for this one, get it in the mail ASAP, hopefully have it by this weekend, maybe in this video, because as you guys know, sometimes I upload between 3 and 4 days. So it would be sick to have that in the car by the end of this video. So that would be cool. That's unfortunate, but we still have the back to do. So I already got the hatch open. I got to pop these little covers off here, figure out what's going on with that one. But pop these little covers off, get the 3 bolts there, take the 2 off the knuckle, and then the rear should be good. So I'm gonna work on getting that done, and then hopefully we'll see if this front one comes in. So we got the back coilovers off. These are the Blitz ones that I was telling you about, and these things are pretty beat. Like I said, these things, they'll probably just go on the shelf. I mean, unless for whatever reason I can clean them up and get them unseized. But I think it's pretty cool that they're Blitz. You can see, again, the ride height difference. So what I'm gonna do is bring these closer to what these were and get the BCs put on the back. I did already talk to Dave, and he already sent me an invoice. I got that paid, and they are on the way. They should hopefully be here in this video, which would be sick. So cross your fingers that shock comes in, because got it off. It's obviously bent, and it sucks. But now I'm only back up to about 500 bucks for those coilovers. That would have costed me about $1,200 brand new. So let's go ahead and get these rears put in so that the back is done. All right, well, I got the back ones all on. I'm gonna see if for whatever reason, the wheels don't hit these coilovers. So I'm gonna take the spacer off and try to put a wheel on and see if they hit. I'm pretty sure they're still going to, but we're gonna find out right now. I got the wheel back on there, and it does not hit currently. So I don't know if it was just because the other ones were too bottomed out or what it was, but I got about a finger width of distance in there. So I'm gonna put the rear wheels on, and like I said, once I get the replacement front shock for the coilover, they might clear. I don't know if there might be a chance I might be keeping these wheels and just getting them powder coated the color I want. So we'll see, you know. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this wheel on there. Well, before I do that, I need to tighten up the coilover. So I'm gonna tighten up the coilover, then I'll put the wheel on. All right, well, I got the brake line fixed. I'll say fixed. I got it temporarily fixed. I cut the line off, reflared it and stuff like that, right where it was broke. So I will eventually do new brake lines and rubber lines and all that kind of stuff, because I do want to convert this to rotors instead of drums, because just drums, I just don't like them. So I do want to eventually do a rotor conversion on this. So, but I am going to throw the back wheel back on the back and see what else we can mess with. Maybe clean some stuff up and go from there. All right, so the wheels are on besides the driver's side front, because that one, the shock, will be here in a couple days. It's not going to be in this video, unfortunately. So I am going to have to put one of the old coilovers on the car for now, just to get it off the lift, because I got some other stuff to do. I actually need to run up the road because I have a part that I need to go pick up that I actually found on Marketplace. Luckily, because I messed something up. If you guys watched the last video, you already know. But if not, we will be right back and you'll see what I got. Well, I have to wait on the shock to come in for the Subaru. It's going to be a couple days, which is what it is. So, but in the meantime, I found a headlight for the Miata. So I got this bad girl, which will replace this one here that I actually messed up. So I'll be putting this headlight on the Miata so that this is all whole again. So I got that going on, but as you see behind me, Sandy's car is here. And the reason her car is here, well, needless to say, it don't want to go no more. It runs, all that stuff, goes in reverse, has no forward gears. So we were talking back and forth about what to do. Basically, like I said, the transmission is shot, you know what I mean? She pulled into the driveway, and basically it just doesn't want to go anywhere anymore. I got it to about this far, and it just won't do anything. I checked the fluid, did all that. It has a new filter and all that good stuff in there, so I know it's not that, but I think the transmission just finally gave it up. I don't remember how many miles the trans had on it before I put it in. Either way, all that aside, instead of me spending like $1,000, if not $2,000 or $3,000, whatever it is for a new trans, we figured, why not get you some more practice driving a manual and manual swap this thing? So I think that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do that in this video, but I know you guys probably saw this in the background. Like, oh, what's she doing there? But she's not. Her car's just here, and it's because her trans decided to go. But so Subaru got all the coilovers on besides the one that's going to be here probably this week, unfortunately. So sorry I couldn't show you guys everything. Plus the body's not done on that car anyways, so it's not going to be like this drastic transformation or anything like that with the car. And it is what it is. I did also notice last night I watched Chris's video, and that was the video of us doing Matt's BCs on his van. So I was like, damn it. Well, is what it is. Like-minded people do like-minded things. So either way, got the headlight for the Miata. That's going to get put on. I have a potential buyer for that, which is sick. And we will be manual swapping this car. So I already have a complete donor car for this. You guys will actually recognize the donor car when you see it. So that being said, you'll see. So, but I know some of you guys are going to be like, oh, well, go ahead and put a V8 in it and blah, 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 blah. Not doing that. Keeping it a V6 because this is her daily. She doesn't need horrible gas mileage. Might as well get better gas mileage and then look cool. So we are going to do a few more things other than just manual swapping it, but you'll have to just wait for that most likely in the next one, because like I said, this is her daily. We don't have another vehicle. Thank God I have, friends and family that will allow us to borrow a vehicle. I was going to put her in the Miata, but with the kids and stuff, a two-door just is not ideal. So the Miata will be getting sold. Her car will be getting fixed and we'll be in good shape. We also have some other plans with this, but it's not going to happen in that video. Right now, we're just going to focus on the manual swap and getting this thing back on the road. So like I said, sorry that the Subaru is not all done, which again, like I said, it's not really going to be a big transformation or anything like that because the quarter panels are still not done yet. So I know a lot of guys try to do all this stuff, but I'm one guy. I can only do what I can do, and sometimes life throws you curveballs. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you could like, comment, subscribe, that would be sick. And I appreciate you guys still sticking around with me and just following along with what I got going on. So with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.